superstars, it's your girl chopping it up with Miss Prissy. And by the thumbnail, I know y'all wondering and want to get straight into it. How did I end up pregnant, 9 months at that, driving 12 hours, and homeless? So let me tell y'all. So the place that I was staying at was not suitable to bring a newborn baby to live there. So I already knew previous to me being homeless that I had to find housing. So I was on a waiting list. I was proactive. I was on a waiting list for income-based housing. I had been on that waiting list for 2 years. So I was calling, checking the status, but when I found out that I was pregnant, I really was proactive. I was calling quite often. I want to say probably every 3 to 4 weeks. I was calling, and one of the head executives of the housing commission, she was a very, very nice lady. She was very understanding, she's an angel, and I just want to thank God for her. She let me know that by me being pregnant, I was at the top of the list because their list was not long at all. She let me know that I was at the top of the list, and by me facing homelessness, that gave me extra points as well to get to the top of the list. So that was really, really good. But still, I checked in. I kept checking in. So originally, she had gave me a date for April. She didn't make a promise, but she estimated a move-in date of April. My baby wasn't due until July of 2024. This is all 2024. So I'm like, okay, that's works great. I can move in before the baby, and get everything situated. But things didn't go as planned on the end of the court system. They were evicting a tenant. She didn't let me know that because, that's, I guess HIPAA or confidential. She didn't let me know that. She just let me know that they were facing, some setbacks with the unit I was going to move in. So I'm like, okay. I spoke with someone who is over housing, rental, that type of stuff. And she told me, well, they're doing an eviction. She just let me know. She was like, so it could be a little while because it's up to the court on how long they give the people to get out. Then they have to go in and renovate the place. So I'm like, okay. So I still kept calling diligently. So I'm going to work. I did have a job. I worked until I was 8 months pregnant, until I got my maternity leave money. And once I got my maternity leave money, then of course I didn't work anymore. So time was winding down. It's just winding down. I'm like, okay, I already have a son as well. I think he was 12 at the time. He was 12 at the time. I already have a 12-year-old. So time is just winding down. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to. And one thing I did not do, God is the glory. I give God all the glory on this. I did not stress myself. That's one thing I did not do. I don't do that now. When things occur in my life and I have setbacks or I have hiccups, I pray, I vent about it, and I keep it moving. I don't stress myself out. I don't get into a deep sunken depression. I just pray and keep it moving. And I thank God for giving me that same mind that I have, because that takes a lot. That takes God, baby. That's what I'm just gonna say. That takes God. So I thank God for that. So the whole time I'm like, okay, push come to shove, I'll just go to a shelter, until my housing is ready, because I knew that my housing would be ready that year. It would be ready sometime that year. Push come to shove, I would have to go to the shelter for maybe a month or two, but it wouldn't be anything too crazy because I knew that I was going to move into the house, that year. So, I kept working, like I said, until I went on my maternity leave. So once time wound it down, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just drive and drop my son off, which was a 4.5 hour drive from Michigan. And how I came up with this, I'm like, okay, I just have to go with my baby's daddy. He was out of town working at the time. The type of job that he has, he works out of town. And I was trying to not uproot myself and my child and my unborn, and just uproot us to a different state. That's what I was trying to avoid. My son was still going to school in Michigan. I was still working. So that's why I didn't just go with him, the whole time, because I still had a functioning life in Michigan. So I just couldn't uproot and just go there and then just be discombobulated, out of work, and no income coming in on my behalf. Son, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with him for school. So I let him finish out the 6th grade, and once he graduated and everything played its factor. I had a plan. So I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm just going to do. My baby daddy is only working out of town, for a while, however long the job lasts that he's doing. So whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to drive to him. So he was only in a 1-bedroom. So it wasn't room for my son to come. He was like, I don't want to go anyway. I want to go with my family to drop him off in Indiana. I rested a day because I had to get my hair done. You will see in the videos, my hair wasn't done. It was just, blah, because I'm pregnant. I can't sit still long enough to really get styles that I really want, whatever. So I went to his aunt. She did my hair for free because I didn't have, my money hadn't hit my deposit yet. It didn't come into that Friday, I believe. So she did my hair. I rested, got up the following day, the 21st of July. I never will forget that because that's my deceased brother's birthday. Got on the road at 7:30 in the morning. Filled my truck up, drove. It was a 7-hour and 30-minute drive. Okay. I stopped one time. I stopped to get food because I had to get food. I got enough food to drive. And I'm a out-of-town driver. I drive. My whole pregnancy, I drove. I drove to my son's auntie before, and I was like 5.5 months pregnant. One thing I'm going to do is drive, baby. So driving the 12 hours, it really didn't affect me. Previous to that, I did call my insurance company because I'm like, I might have my baby out of town in Tennessee. That's where I drove, to Tennessee. So they told me as long as I went to the emergency room that Michigan would cover all my expenses. And God good, I did check in. I did look into a hospital in case I did have my baby there, because the plan was to come back and have a scheduled C-section in Michigan. But things can happen. So I was scheduled to have a cesarean section in Michigan, but that didn't work. So I'm like, if I have to have the baby in Tennessee, I called several hospitals. I looked up, and I got a young lady, and I asked her. She was telling me it was a couple of different hospitals to choose from. And I asked her, where would she have her baby at? And so she let me know Baptist Hospital. So that's where I had my baby at. So, everything worked out for me. God is so good. I didn't even think in my head, like, what if you have the baby on the road, And then another thing, not many people knew I was doing this. My mother didn't know. My brother didn't know. A lot of my close family and friends didn't know, because I am the type of person that if I have to do something for my family, I am just going to do it. When you reach out to people and tell people, sometimes you get a lot of naysayers and don't do this and don't do that, but they don't have an alternative for you. It's just like, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. Flip side of everything as well, the housing that I picked is the projects that I now live in. I just was on some humbug stuff like, okay, I'm just going to apply for these, and just get on the waiting list, because I originally applied for Section 8, but I wasn't, the Section 8, I'm still on the Section 8 waiting list. I didn't get that yet. So I called the Housing Commission, so where I'm at now, and the lady did tell me that they are two separate entities. So I ended up getting the projects that I live in now. And I'm so blessed for God that I did do that. So that's how I did that. But it's 4 hours away from Detroit. So not only did I have to drive that distance, and then once I did get back here, it's 4 hours away from family and friends. And once again, people some people knew that I had to take that drive and live this far away from family and friends, but again, I can't listen to what people tell me, and you shouldn't either. If you have to do something, you just have to do it. Another thing, I know I'm kind of like all over the place, but and another thing that I wanted to insert, I forgot what I was gonna say, but it'll come to me as I keep talking. But yeah, you just have to do what you have to do. Oh, a week before moving into my project home, um, once I had the baby, because my baby daddy had to come back to Michigan to handle some business. So when we came back here, I ended up in a hotel. So when I did come back, I ended up staying in a hotel for 1 week with my newborn baby, until my house was ready. And God is so good. That time it was right on time. Okay. I ended up having my son's auntie bring him from Indiana to Michigan to me to the hotel. And he was there for like 2 or 3 days until we were able to, they called me and let me know like your house, your unit is ready. Okay. So, God worked everything on out. I definitely was proactive with everything. I strategized everything to the best of my ability, and God took the wheel and he drove, and everything worked on out. So, I just want to give all the praises to God. And I want to leave anybody that's on here, woman or man, but especially my women, my mothers, never let anything get you so discouraged that you just give up. Do not give up, baby. Keep going. Your children need you, okay? I'm going to say that again. I know that it's hard and life kicks your butt sometimes. It kicks all of our butts sometimes, but baby, keep going. If I can get up 9 months pregnant and take a drive, listen, don't let nothing defeat you. Keep going. And I promise you at the end, when you do it and you everything get figured out and you conquer it, you gonna pat yourself on the motherfucking back, baby. Cause that's what I do every day. I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm big happy. I don't care if I stay in the projects. I don't care if I'm low income based, whatever the case may be. I don't care if I don't have the fanciest car. I don't care if I don't have the fanciest clothes. If I don't have the most money in my bank account, baby, I'm the shit. I take care of my responsibility. I keep my kids fed. I raise my children. Okay. They'll be well-mannered young men. Okay. I do what I have to do to provide for my children, for my family. I'm a go-getter. Okay. I have a couple of businesses that I work on every single day. Business is not booming through the walls, but that's okay. I still get up every day. I still apply myself. I still hustle. And that's all that matters. Never let nobody make you feel so small that you're not good enough. And this is to the men as well, because there's a lot of single fathers that don't get enough credit as well. You are the shit as well. Keep going. And remember, keep God first, because he is amazing. Okay, just when you think, boom, he make it work. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Peace.